tell us now that you've had more time to take a look at them and prepare for them more? What are your thoughts, both of how you guys have been preparing, and what do you think some of the biggest challenges will be for this matchup?
They just execute extremely well. They have a good system that fits their personnel, and players know how to execute it. They don't beat themselves. It's just a challenge. If you go in and make mistakes or you missed assignments, they're going to take advantage of it. We haven't been able to study the personnel to any greater degree. We've just had extra practice time. So it's been good that we've been able to polish the plan. But they're a good football team, and they're going to be at home, and I know it's going to be a big game for them.
For dual threat quarterbacks, who do you use on a scout team for a guy with as much skill set as Waters has?
We just used our regular guys. We didn't get anybody from the offense. They do run the Wildcat, and we put some skill guys back there for that. Their quarterback throws so well. He is definitely a good dual threat, but he throws so well. We just had to use our regular guys to get back there. Be him.
With the Wildcat and some of the other stuff they do, how unorthodox is some of the running game stuff they do?
It's not, when you get into Wildcat, it's just like everybody else. They give you a lot of different formations just to try to get you misaligned or find an open spot, where they can punch a hole in your box. You got 4 or 5 different formations they'll show you. And we just got to be very aware of it. They don't take the quarterback off the field. They leave him out there, so you don't know it's going to be the Wildcat. So you have to run check defenses. You can't run a special call that you can send in your players. They have to check into something. So we have to really be on our toes. And the player that does Wildcat for him is a great running back. So even if you're in the right defense, you still got to execute, get off blocks. We got to tackle well.
Tyler Lockett, he changes things for me. He's off the field and then goes back on. It just changes how way people defend. I mean, what he knows with him on film and how big of a difference he makes that.
Really good player, and he's on both sides. You can't always match up on him with who you want to match up. You can't necessarily put a design defense on him. You start double covering him, it leaves all those quarterback lead runs open. So that's what's such a big challenge to them. They're going to run the quarterback with the lead blocker, and when they do that, a lot of times base defenses just don't have enough people in the chalkboard to stop that play. Now, we may be able to whip them and get off and make a play, but you're taking a chance when you take all them people out of the box. So if you get over and line and play one-on-one, nobody over the top, and he's a really good athlete. And their routes are designed to take advantage of a lot of stop and goes, a lot of hitches, a lot of fades, things that you normally run against corners, that are playing without help.
There's been quite a bit of rotation there at corner for you guys. You try and go into this going, and you got to get the veterans out there to matchups and they'll be moving around.
We'll sub as always. If somebody's playing extremely well and can hold up, we'll leave them out there. But we plan to, do the same rotation we always do. Feel like it keeps us better in the second half, especially the fourth quarter.
So you think it'll be pretty much all the corners will have a shot matching up? You're not walking into it expecting either Mincy or Jones to be the guy to go up against them, kind of thing? I
mean, we may have a certain play, toward the end of the half, toward the end of the game, maybe something where you got to put somebody on or whatever. But we don't have that luxury. They get a little tempo going. They don't snap the ball extremely fast, but they come to the line of scrimmage real early. They do a lot of checking and stuff at the line. So it's going to be a deal where we're going to have to get lined up, and wherever he shows up, somebody's going to have to step up.
What's been the biggest advantage for your defense having this early off week?
We had a few people banged up, but I'd say the biggest advantage is being able to give some young guys a little more attention. Probably the best improvement. And obviously a little more time on Kansas State.
Obviously, who were some of those young guys that you gave more attention to this week?
Just the guys in the 2 deep that hadn't gotten a lot of game snaps.
Ellis, from the start, how much progress you feel like you made defensively since?
Really got to see how we played Thursday. I thought we played better in some phases against Arkansas than we did against San Jose. But I think we improved last week with our open days and got a little more extra time. But we'll see. I think to answer that question, I'll see how we play Thursday night. I think they will be probably the best football team we've played yet, and present some unusual challenges, and it's going to be a test for our players, and we probably need to find out, if we have improved.
You've been pleased with your linebackers so far. What does Cass kind of add to the defense, run defense?
Well, they've been productive. I mean, they've made tackles and made some plays. I like for them to be a little more consistent, and they seem to be getting that way each week. Last year, it was kind of linebacker by committee. This year, it's more 2 starters with backups coming in. I wanted to play more people last game, and because of some adjustments we had to make and some other things were going on, I felt more comfortable leaving the starters in there. I thought they played too many plays, and the two deep guys have got to step up and be ready to go. But I've been pleased with both Cass and Frost, and they played okay. I think they can play better.
You've seen plenty of, Nick Marshall obviously practice preseason, but how does he and Jake Waters compare in the zone read from what you've seen on tape about Jake? I can't make that comparison. I mean, I think every player's different, their offense is not like ours. They do a lot of things where it's a more designed run for the quarterback to run it, as opposed to an option run where he may run it. I think either one of those two players could be really good in either offense, because they're both very talented, skilled. They're both really good dual threats. But it'd be hard to compare them because they're doing two different systems.
Ellis, when you look around, you watch games, 30-something to 30-something, 30-something to 28. How hard is that for an old defensive guy to swallow that now maybe you give up 20, 21, 24 points, played pretty well?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me from that standpoint. I just think that, that's the way football has evolved. And I mean, just to be too simple about it, if you go back when football started, there was not even a forward pass. So all of these things that have occurred over the last 15 or 20 years, they're just like everything that's occurred over the last 60 years. And kids are coming along now and early on learning how to throw and how to run routes and all that. Linemen are bigger than they were, protection, all that kind of stuff. You couldn't even block with your hands 25 years ago. You couldn't pass block the way people are running offenses now. They didn't change the rules. So they changed the rules to make the game more exciting and more fan-friendly. And it's just part of it. I mean, it doesn't make my job any more difficult than it does a guy on the other side of the field, who's trying to stop us. So it's all relative. But I do think that, it basically is whatever fills those seats and cuts those TV sets on, and that's the way the rules are going to go. So, that's how it is.
Well, we saw Gabe and Montrevis play a lot more inside, especially from the second quarter on against San Jose. What do they add to that interior? I mean, you're pretty loaded there with some big guys, Jeff and Blackson and stuff like that, but what do Mont and Gabe add specifically?
Well, they're probably the most athletic guys that we played in there. And we didn't play well in that last game. And I know Rodney was doing some rotation to get the best guys in there that could get it done. But, I think that's the biggest thing. Gabe and Montrevis are the two most athletic of the inside guys. That's why we were working them outside back in the spring, and they will continue to play a little bit outside.
Did you notice that they had more production inside as opposed to outside at D-Tech?
You did notice.
So you don't think that's true?
Well, I didn't notice it. I don't know. It could have, may not have.
Did Trevon Reed improve from game 1 to game 2? And it looks like Mincy's playing pretty well too back there.
Mincy's probably played the best of all of them and should have, most experienced. Trevon had a couple of mistakes. For a player who hadn't played there much, that'd be expected. One of them was unacceptable. Got to get it cleaned up, but I thought he made two really nice plays. Obviously, interception was a good play, and he made a very good play on another run support. Played it extremely well. He seems to get a little more comfortable each week.
All right.
Good.
Thank you, Coach.